Alright, so I don't normally do movie reviews, but when I do, it's because you asked for it. So I got a few people were asking me, hey, what are your thoughts on the movie? Will you do a review on the movie? And normally I wouldn't do that because I already do toy reviews and enough is enough. But since I had so many requests for it, I will go ahead and do it. And if you stick around for this extremely long video of my opinion of the movie, then we'll go ahead and look at this Black Series Stormtrooper. This one, well, my wife got me these for Christmas. God bless her, I love her, she's beautiful. She actually thought that this was the new one, so we won't look at him because I'm pretty sure I already did a review of this. But hey, you can always use an extra one and I'm happy to have it. But we will check out this Stormtrooper. And about this movie, first off, for you haters, I did love the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I also think Star Trek is a great movie, and I'm not a Star Trek guy at all. Like, I don't really have any Star Trek toys. I'm not into Star Trek. I just think that they're doing a great job on the new movies. And I think that those are about equal with the new Star Wars. Like, I really don't see a difference in the two movies anymore. Because to me, Star Wars was always about... Star Wars had like all the cool aliens and monsters and beasts and all the different planets and all the big battle scenes. And it's like now in the new movies, it's kind of like all that is fading away. Basically, to me, you give me a cast that's disposable. Characters that mean nothing to me. And that's not like, well, they're new characters, you'll get to them. No, we've already seen 2 movies with the same cast. And I could literally care less if any of these people die. Like, it would mean nothing to me. Like, you take, like, the first, like, 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars. Like, those were like, yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't really like those. Or, you know, I didn't like Jar Jar. Jar Jar was annoying. Yeah, he was a little annoying. The kid that played Anakin was really annoying. Yeah, he was. But the movies were Star Wars to me because it started off with tons of aliens, tons of robots, tons of different planets, big battle scenes. So 1, 2, and 3, I actually liked those more, or I enjoyed those more than these new movies coming out, just because they were so Star Wars. These new ones are like Star Trek version of Star Wars. Like, they are great movies. The acting's great. They're done really nice. Like, I do like them, but I don't see it. Like, so on this review, it's probably going to be way longer than it should. I'm going to walk you through my toy room for you don't have to look at some loser dressed up like as a Stormtrooper for the whole video. I'm going to walk you through my Star Wars collection for I can show you what was important or what is important for Star Wars for me. Like, because if it wasn't for Star Wars, I wouldn't even collect action figures. Like, they would, like, because Star Wars is basically what got everybody's interest into stuff like this. Like, Star Wars was a movie that basically triggered everything nerd related. So when you take movies and you water them down and you make them like Star Trek, they're great movies, but I was just hoping for a little bit more. Let's check out the toys. Alright, so I'm going to start with episode 1, and I'm going to walk you through my whole Star Wars collection for I can show you what I like about Star Wars, and then we'll eventually get to the last movie and we can see what those movies are lacking. First off, we take episode 1. Of course we have Jar Jar. I actually don't think that he's that annoying after looking at Finn or Rose. I actually think Jar Jar's kind of cool now. And then you have that young Anakin Skywalker. Like, basically Rose is the replacement for him. Well, he was super annoying, but he grew up and then, well, I guess he was still kind of annoying. But episode 1 gave us one of the best villains of all time, Darth Maul, and I was really disappointed when they killed him, or at least they cut him in half, and supposedly he came back in Rebels cut in half. But that was a villain to me. Like, you remember, like, when he got cut in half, it was like, oh man, that was just... It was devastating. I hated to see him go. Yes, we lost Qui-Gon, and I was totally cool with losing Qui-Gon because we still had Darth Maul. And then Obi-Wan came out and did his ass in, and I was just like, no, 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 don't kill Darth Maul. I really like that. And then there was a day when they used to actually have aliens, like, as like people, like as a whole group, like a whole alien squad, and they had all these battle droids, and that is just an amazing scene. Like they actually like were cutting through like a metal door, and when this destroyer droid comes out and gets this like shield ball around him, you're like, oh, this is just so cool. And then Queen Amidala, you're like, okay, so this is like the new Princess Leia, and she was actually really cool because she wore tons of costumes, had a twin. You couldn't tell if it was her or not, but it made it exciting. Like I was like, okay, cool. So you take episode 1, the cast of episode 1, I instantly fell in love with the cast of episode 1. Like I basically liked everybody in the movie. I mean, Jar Jar was whatever, I get it, everybody feels the same way. And then Anakin, I mean, he was a must-have. I just think that he was a poor cast. It would have been nice if they would have got a kid that turned into a man that could actually act and wasn't so whiny and bratty. Like, I mean, come on, you're freaking Darth Vader, for Christ's sakes. Like, stop being such a baby. So here you have like episode 1. Do you guys remember the pod race scene? That was Star Wars to me. It was like so cool how they had a mission and they had a plan, but they still had time to do pod racer scenes. Jabba the Hutt, really super cool stuff like that. You had the Jedi Council. Like this was just another amazing scene that you'll remember forever. Like, yes, it was in episode 1, and I know a lot of people didn't like that movie, but look at all the cool stuff that we got from it. Like, you got these big, giant, like, dinosaur creatures things with laser beams on their back, like, with shields, and it was just totally amazing. Then it led us into this army scene, like, and then we actually got a ship of this thing. Like, this was one of the best battles of Star Wars history. Like, this thing was so amazing. Like, it was just so much fun to watch. And then we come down here and we have this arena battle. Like, this thing was awesome with all these crazy like bug creatures that fly around. Like, that was just like, that was Star Wars. Then we had Jango Fett, like, and we got a ship over here. Like, once again, like, we're just not getting any of this stuff in the new movies. Then we have the droid factory, which I thought was another really cool scene. Like, this is all like 1, 2, and 3. These are the movies that you guys were like hating on. Well, I mean, after seeing these last 2 movies, like, I'm really missing these first 3 movies. Just because, look at this, like, you got the Stormtrooper Jedi versus the droid army. Like, that was another crazy scene. Then Count Dooku, like, I thought he was like, whatever. I mean, he's actually cool now, like, because you take Darth Maul and then you throw him in there, and they're just really not comparable. So, tons of great figures in these first 3 movies that were very memorable and meant a lot to us. And one of my all-time favorites was General Grievous. This guy, like, this was a villain of villains. Like, he swung lightsabers, had 4 arms, he was a big giant robot. Like, that was cool. He had like his little bodyguard guys. Like, just look at the characters that we used to get from Star Wars. Like, Star Wars was awesome. And then if he wasn't cool enough, they went ahead and put him in this vehicle that could roll, that could walk. Like, just really cool, crazy stuff. They put Obi-Wan Kenobi on a lizard. I have to admit, the lizard was a stretch. I could see you non-fans like going, oh my god, they just put him on a lizard. But I ignored all that and I just went with it, and I was like, cool, like, it's just another beast. Hopefully we'll get a toy of it, and we did. And then you have like the Chewbacca planet with once again another amazing battle scene. Like, you got basically these Chewies going against these droids, then you get like these badass like spider droids, all kinds of cool stuff. Tons of cool. Then the stormtroopers, and then you basically got all these different color stormtroopers. You got the blue ones, you got the orange ones, green ones, like, just tons of variety. They gave us tons of cool ships. They actually made this stuff. Really cool. Got this tank with wheels, which is kind of weird for a tank to have wheels in Star Wars, but I thought it was cool at the time. I actually still think it's pretty cool. And then you got this final battle scene. Like, this thing was awesome. You got Anakin over here all cut up, laid up, and you were like, okay, this is the start to the beginning, and then it turns into Darth Vader, which is like the all-time coolest villain ever. Like, it's just like you literally get goosebumps when Darth Vader comes onto the screen. So this is episode 1, 2, and 3. And you can see, like, they gave us so much. Granted, they weren't the best movies in the world. We all can agree on that. But they were Star Wars. Like, we got tons of cool stuff that was Star Wars to me. And then you move down to the 3, 4, and 3, 4. I don't know. I guess I can't count very much. 4, 5, and 6 on the movies. And these things, like, you give us a cast of, like, Luke. He was awesome. Like, he was a little whiny, but for some reason I still loved him. R2-D2, 3CPO, Chewbacca, Han Solo, Princess Leia. It was a cast that, like, we basically all instantly fell in love with. And once again, tons of cool ships, tons of cool beasts. It was Star Wars. It was just like, all right, I'm really digging this thing. And like when Star Wars Episode 4 came out, it was just like, it was like life-changing to every kid. It was like, man, I just had to see it. Like, one of the best scenes of Star Wars history is this cantina scene. Like, I loved it so much, like, I had to build one. I had my boy Broccoli help me out. Like, this is Star Wars. Like, you just, like, I keep waiting for the next cool bar scene. I keep waiting for the next Jabba the Hutt scene in these new movies. And, like, we saw one movie, it almost happened, it didn't happen. And then we're like, well, maybe on the next one. And then they give us, like, some crappy Vegas weekend with the 2 worst people. And like, so you send Rose and Finn to Vegas to try to do a mission, and they fail the mission and bring back the wrong dude. And I don't know, like this is Star Wars. Like, when you can get a scene like this, it means so much to me that you have to recreate it at home. That's Star Wars. Then you got the Millennium Falcon, which is still floating around. Definitely love that. We just don't really get the scenes. Like, Han Solo's gone. You still got Chewbacca, but then we don't get enough of Chewbacca. Like, I don't know, man. It's just the cast in the new movie's not feeling it. Then you move down to everybody's favorite movie, Empire. Like, this thing was like, it's just an unbelievable movie. It's basically everybody's favorite movie. You got the Hoth scene, which was great. You basically get the Wampa and the Tauntaun. That was an amazing scene in the movie when he cut him open, put Luke inside. Also another amazing scene. Then you get this great epic battle with these AT-ATs. And so in the new movie, when they showed those like guerrilla walkers, I was like, finally, they're coming back. And then those guerrilla walkers didn't do anything in the movie. It was just kind of a waste. Like, I was hoping for so much more. And then all it was like this white planet that's actually like a red planet, and you got these crystal foxes, and you were hoping for some epic battle, and basically you get a ghost version of Luke that fights Kylo, but then not really. And I don't know, man, it just big disappointment. And then you have the Cloud City scene, which this was also like, okay, they're going to Cloud City. Like, every movie you got like these cool planets and cool ships, and now we're just not getting that. We're getting stuff that's like whatever, like putting Han and Carbonite. Like they can't even make cool toys because there's really nothing cool to make them about. And then my end all favorite scene of all was the Jabba the Hutt with the Rancor pit. I mean, I even liked it more than the cantina. Like, this is Star Wars to me. So your version of this is the Vegas in weekend. Not feeling it, guys. Just not feeling it at all. And you get another amazing scene with all the bounty hunters lined up. That was great. Really dug that. Another amazing scene, Boba Fett in the, what is it, the Sarlacc pit or whatever. Just amazing. The Rancor, another amazing scene. So this is Star Wars to me. This is Star Wars. Now we're moving on down to like episode 6 with, I mean, it was great with this ship coming down, the Emperor, Darth Vader, Luke, the battle. I mean, it was just so epic. Like, you just, like, I mean, you can rewatch it again right now and you'll still think it holds up. And then you have the Ewok scene, which, okay, when you were a kid, you thought this thing was awesome. Then when you grew up, you're like, okay, this definitely gets a little corny. I'm not hating on it. I actually still like it. It just, plus look at all these cool toys we got from it. And it's nice to be able to recreate this. Like, the Ewoks, I mean, if you're a kid, that's like pretty much the best choice you can make. It's basically a teddy bear with a spear, and it was awesome. As like when you get older, you kind of see the corniness of the Ewoks, but I still kind of think it's better than what they're doing now. Then you come up here to episode 7, and basically thank God that they made this monster, because if it wasn't for that, this would just really lay flat. And then you have the cast. So basically you got Rey. She's starting to be a little interesting to me, but really not. Like, she's no replacement for Luke. Then you have Poe, which she's definitely no replacement for Han Solo. And then you have Finn, which I guess he's a replacement for Jar Jar Binks. I just don't get it. Like you basically look at this. This is episode 7 right here. So after walking you through, this is kind of what they come up with. Like, this kind of looks like the cast to like a Star Trek movie. And as far as vehicles go, yeah, I mean, you kind of get what I'm saying. Then you have the bad guys over here. It's, I mean, it's just not like you have Captain Phasma, and like I kind of thought she was going to be the replacement for Boba Fett, but we all know that that didn't happen. Then you have The Last Jedi, and I was really had big hopes for it, and I did love the movie. Like, when I saw this cop vehicle, I was like, man, that's kind of a goofy looking vehicle. I'm not real sure how that's going to tie in. And then you have the A-Wing, and I was like, okay. And then you have this vehicle, which I was kind of hoping for more, like, because I was like, man, like, I was kind of thinking this would be as cool as the pod racers. It was not. It was basically just a hunk of junk that flies around. And then you have Kylo's ship back here, which the toy is actually way too small, and he didn't fly in it long enough. Like, it was just a really short-lived scene, and I was just hoping for more. And then you have Snoke, and man, he was just an amazing villain. Like, I loved him in the movie. I loved his guards. I thought the lightsaber scene in the movie was just, it was kind of corny and cut a little short. And Kylo, like, that dude, just an actor, like, he definitely needs to practice with the lightsaber. Like, it didn't really seem like he had much skill with it. So basically, this is your new big bad guy. This is your replacement for the Emperor. This is your replacement for Darth Vader. This is it. Like, I'm not feeling it. So anyways, there's the toys. That's kind of how I feel about the movie. It's a good movie. I mean, it's hard to even call these things Star Wars, these new ones. Like, I do love them, but when you just look at this cast versus what we're used to, maybe the last one's going to make up for it. I don't think that it's going to, but time will tell. That's how I feel about the movie. I guess we'll check out this. Alright, so if you're still watching, we have this Stormtrooper with this axe standing right about 3 3/4 inches tall. Go figure, because it's a 3 3/4 inch line. And this Stormtrooper is basically the same as all your other ones that you already have. Slightly repainted and slightly retooled because he's a Black Series. And he has this axe. And when he pulled out this axe, I was like, alright, now we get to turn this movie around in the right direction. He actually gets to cut off Rose and Finn's head at the same time, and then we'll get this movie back in track. And that didn't happen, but this action figure is really cool. Finally locked one down, or I didn't. She did. I think she actually had to pick it up on eBay. So now basically all I have left is that Red Guard, and then I'll have all of them for Star Wars. I'll finally be caught up, but I'll probably have to go on eBay to find that one too, because I can't find any of those things sitting around in the stores. And this axe was cool. The scene was, I don't know, there's just a lot of pointless scenes in this movie. But I did like it. I'm going to go ahead and put them up there. You know what? I think you've seen enough of the collection. You've probably heard enough of me talking. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. Here's a Stormtrooper. If you see him, pick him up. Good luck seeing him. You might have to get them on eBay. Hope you don't have to pay too much. Thanks for watching.